Alright, this video is going to show you how to replace the touchscreen and the thumbstick for the original 3DS. First you gotta take off the back cover, which has these 4 screws. Once you take that off, you can remove the battery, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one down here, 10 screws that you need to remove. Alright, once you got all of them, you can flip over this back piece. While doing it, be careful to do it slowly so that you don't rip these L and R ribbon cables. See, they're attached. If you lifted it up too fast or too forceful, you can easily rip these. So just unclip those. They're like a push-in tab, so you could just flick them off. Now to replace the thumbstick, this is the analog stick. So to replace a broken thumbstick, you just remove these 2 screws and lift up the thumbstick. There's either one of these washers or there's a black and a white mesh one. I'm removing it because you see the rubber piece came off. So take the bottom washer off, push out the thumbstick. The best way to do it is to get one corner of it out, like through the hole, and push down with a little force, a little bit, and then once you get that leg through the hole, you just turn the thumbstick to get it out. And to put it in, it's the same thing but reverse. You get that corner through first, and then just turn. Now we need to put the washer back. The larger one with the slit is the one on the bottom. You put one piece of the slit between, I guess, the legs of this thumbstick piece, and then you just loop it around to get that washer underneath this new thumbstick. Now, if you're only replacing the thumbstick, you can just put the washer in and close it right up and you're done. But we're also replacing the touchscreen. So to do that, you want to remove the SD card. There are 2 screws here. Now, here's the tricky part. There are actually 2 more screws underneath the SD card reader here. So there's actually a lot of adhesive on the bottom. So you want to get something in between. You can't just lift it up because it'll lift this whole metal piece up with it. The adhesive is underneath. So you want to just get some sort of pry tool or something and stick it in and kind of work your way in there to separate the SD card reader from this metal piece right here. And here's what it looks like on the bottom. This adhesive was just all over here. So now there's 2 more screws, one here, and one here. Now on this side, there's 4 screws. So this is pretty straightforward. Just remove them. Now what you want to do is detach the bottom screen, which is these 2. You just lift up these tabs gently and pull out the ribbon cable. These two are both for the bottom screen. Now this one is for the digitizer. Just lift that up as well. Take it out. Now remove the Wi-Fi card and also unclip the speaker. Now you can just flip the whole board up. There's a cable over here for the like the speaker, the top screen, camera, that sort of stuff. But since we're not doing anything to the top screen, we don't really need to worry about that corner. You just gently flip the console over. If it gets stuck, you might also need to lift up this volume control panel. Okay, so I just flipped it over, and be very careful not to tear any of these cables in this corner. Now just push through the bottom to get the bottom screen up. Okay, so this actually is made up of 3 pieces. One is this plastic little trim piece. So we're going to be reusing this. Just try to use a pry tool or your fingernail and remove it from the touch screen. So it's just a trim piece. So I put the trim piece back in place. Now I'm going to get the new touch screen, the replacement touch screen. You can assemble these 3 things together beforehand, but I like to just put it in the slot that it came from, meaning on this 3DS. That way you get it lines up properly. So you want to have the ribbon cable on the bottom side where it was before. Get the 2 corners in, and then make sure to fit it into place. Try not to touch the touchscreen itself, because that can leave fingerprints between the screens. So I just hit it with some canned air before I close it up. Now to remove the touchscreen from the LCD screen, you just kind of pry it off. And I like to just remove all of these extra adhesive strips so that it can line up properly and be flush. Okay, so you just put the LCD screen back in and just do everything in reverse. Flip back the motherboard. You want to be careful of this Wi-Fi switch over here. You see this black piece over here. It's hard to see, but there's the actual switch there. The outside switch is just like basically moving it up moves the inside switch up and down. So you want to make sure that this outside switch is underneath the inside switch, so when you push up, it actually moves the inside switch. And you want to do the same thing with the volume button and the volume switch over here. You want to make sure that this little switch here that moves, that slides, lines up with the outside switch. That way when you actually move the outside switch, the inside volume switch moves. An easy way to tell is if it goes all the way up and all the way down and doesn't get stuck somewhere, then you got it right. Now to just reattach all of the cables, bottom screen, digitizer, Wi-Fi card is just you push it in. You don't need to use too much force. You'll feel like a little click once it's in place. Put the speaker back in, and then one last piece is the second bottom screen cable. Now you want to just put all the screws in. The 4 tiniest screws over here. Now the second shortest screws actually go in here. I must have misplaced it somewhere, but I do have spare screws. So yeah, that's another, don't do that. You want to just make sure that you put your screws separately somewhere else. I kind of just dumped it all on my workstation and lost a screw. So yeah, oh well, I got a replacement screw. Okay, now flip back the SD card reader. The third shortest screws go here. They have a little like yellow tint to them, so it's easier to identify them from the rest. Now you put the washer back in, analog stick in. Okay, so these 2 screws, if you're having a hard time telling which ones they are, they're actually the longest screws that you have. So the 2 longest screws. Now you can put the L and R button back in. You just make sure you line them up and then press down, and you should hear like a little, well, you should feel like a little click once they go in. Don't use too much force because they're very easy to break. Now at this point, you can just insert the battery, turn it on to test it. Make sure it's working before you close everything up. And test the corners, make sure everything is good. It seems this corner is not detecting. Alright, sometimes that happens. You just need to calibrate it. To calibrate it, you go to settings, other settings, touchscreen. Alright, let's see. doesn't seem to, oh, it is working, it is working. Okay. Okay, so we're good. And yeah, that's how you change the touchscreen. So now you just replace all of the screws back in, close it up, and you're good to go. While you have it open, if you want to get rid of some of this dust and debris, you can just wipe it with some rubbing alcohol. I just don't have any on me at this time, so I'm not going to do it for the video, but it would be a good idea to clean it up now that you have it open. Alright, close up the cover. And you're good to go. That's it, no more scratches on the touchscreen. Okay, alright, that's it.